in case of the implicit constructors. I hope you guys are clear. Sorry, guys, just a minute. Yeah, all of you can read this. Rules and regulations that has to be followed while working with inheritance. Rules and regulations that has to be followed while working with inheritance. Read the rule number 1. No, Rahul. No. Constructor should be public. Got it? Did you understand this one? Yeah, continue. Continue, guys. Okay, now up to the note. I hope clear. And remember this, guys. What you know? Whenever you create the instance of any class, it will first read all its parent classes to gather the information of the members that are present under those classes. So in our previous case, when the instance of class 2 is created, it gathers information of class 1 also as following. Did you understand this one? Guys, read this paragraph and watch the picture. See, tell me one thing. Not only your father's property, your grandfather's property also belongs to you now. Yes or not? That way, whenever you create the instance of a class, guys, whenever you create, suppose there are 5 classes in the hierarchy, class 1, under that class 2, under that class 3, under that class 4, under that class 5. 5 classes are there. You are creating the instance of the class 5. When you create the instance of the class 5, guys, listen. When you create the instance of the class 5, it will internally go to each and every class and starts reading the members of those classes. First, it will read you the members of class 1, identifies the members of class 1. Again, goes to class 2, identify the members of the class 2, identifies the members of the class 3, identifies the members of the class 3, and then identifies the members of the class 4 and class 5. And which class instance is this? This is the instance of class 5. You created the instance of the class 5. When you create the instance of the class 5, it is going to gather the information of class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5. Got it, guys? Because all the members are accessible to you, it will go to, okay? So that's what. Right now we have 2 classes only. You created an instance of the class 2, it gathered the information of class 1, it gathered the information of class 2. Okay? Guys, next, second rule. All of you can easily understand the second rule. Guys, read it. Read the second rule, guys. Only 3 people understood this, huh? And remaining people are sleeping. Purely defined. Purely defined means They are defined in the parent. See, purely defined. Are a simple English here. Purely defined. See, these two are purely defined in class 1. These two are purely defined in class 1. These two are purely defined in class 2. Purely defined. Okay. So parent class cannot access child class members, guys. Parent class cannot access the child class members. See, I'm creating the instance of the class 1. I'm creating the instance of the class 1. If I create the instance of the class 1, I can call test 1, I can call test 2, but I cannot call test 3 and I cannot call test 4 because the test 3 and test 4 are purely defined in child class. Got it? Test 3 and test 4 are purely defined in the child class. You cannot call them. This is invalid error. Test 1, test 2 can be called. Test 1, test 2 can be called because the methods are defined in class 1 only. Test 1, see, test 1, test 2 purely belongs to class 1. No problem at all. Okay? Now watch this, guys. This is valid. This is invalid and accessible. Am I clear? Any confusion? Okay. Next. Rule number 3. What is rule number 3? Guys, watch. Do you remember this? Read it. Read it and tell me. Do you remember that? Yeah. Okay, now? All of you remember this one, huh? Rule number 3. Do you remember this? What is it? We can initialize the variable of the class by using the instance of the same class. What is C1? What is C1? Instance. What is C2? C2 is a reference or variable reference. It is a reference. And both are accessing the same memory only now. Okay. Now a new point for all of you. Okay, stop it, stop it. Have a new point for all of you. Guys, watch. A new point for all of you. Read it. Just a minute. Just a minute. Come on, read it. Read the continuation. See, just like you can initialize the variable of a class by using instance of the same class, we can initialize the variable of a parent class by using instance of the child class. We can initialize the variable of a parent class by using the instance of its child class. Now in this scenario, both of them will be accessing the same memory. Both of them will be accessing the same memory only for you in this scenario. Understood, all of you? See, I have just said you read an answer. I could see only few people responding, rest of the people not responding. I got a very bad habit, guys. What you know, if I get angry, I will remove you from the meeting. If I get angry, I'll remove you from the meeting. Who don't respond? I'm a fool shouting here and you don't respond, you'll sleep. Okay. Now tell me. Now tell me. Using P, can I call the class 2 members? Come on, guys. Using P, can I call the class 2 members? Except one, rest of all the people answered yes. Except one, rest of all the people, except two, rest of all the people answered as yes, but no is the right answer. No is the right answer. No is the right answer? Yes. Read it. Rule is rule, guys. Parent cannot access child members. Rule is rule. Parent cannot access child members. Read the description below. Now you'll be wondering here, then what is the use of the reference? Don't you understand English, Rahul? Clearly telling now anything of the child is not accessible to parent. Anything of the child is not accessible to parent. Parent cannot access, that's all. Now you'll be wondering here, what is that you'll be wondering? What is that? Sir, then what is the use of creating this reference, sir? Then what is the need of creating this reference? You'll be wondering about this one. Okay? See, listen. Last week, not last week, yeah, this week only, when I said about creating a reference of the class, when I said about creating a reference of a class, did you people understand what is the use of it till yesterday? But yesterday you got an idea what is the need of reference, no? Yesterday you got the idea what is the need of a reference or not? References will be sitting on the client computer calling the members of the parent class. You remember this? Same way, this reference also has a usage. When the time comes, I'll tell you what is the need of it. Don't bother about it. I will tell you where do we use this reference, what is the need of a reference. We'll talk about all the things. Ignore it for time being now. Okay, but remember this particular point. What is it? A parent reference, even though initialized by child instance, cannot call any member that is purely defined in the child class. What is it? Rule is rule. What is it? Parent cannot access child members. Understood? Huh? What is the use of the reference? I will tell you. We'll talk about it. When the situation comes, references where they will be used, they will tell you. Okay, now? That's what I'm telling you. The day one only I cannot tell you each and everything. You cannot. I cannot tell you each and everything. You won't understand. That will come in the next levels. So you need to wait. Okay? Fine. Now, guys, listen. Yeah, you can test it. You can test this. Come here. And you just see now. Class 2C is equals to new class 2. Sorry, guys. Class 2C is equals to new class 2. Child class instance is equals to C. Okay, is equals to C. Now also P dot test 3 and P dot test 4 are error. Now also error. You cannot call. What you can call? You can call test 1 and a test 2 only. You can call test 1 and a test 2 only. Watch it, guys. Test 3, test 4 is invalid and inaccessible. See the picture, all of you? Understood the picture? Okay, now? So the picture will give you a clear idea about the things. Yeah, you cannot call. This is inaccessible to you. You can call with C, you can call class 2 members, you can call class 1 members, but with P, you cannot call class 2 members. Okay, next. Next. See, read this, guys. Read this note, all of you. That only know I shown you when I hear. Again, you're asking the same question. That only know you're showing you the same memory only. Both are having the same memory only. Picture is perfectly clear now. Guys, did you understand this point? What is that? What is that? First, understand what is implicit and explicit. Understand this, what is implicit. This is basically called as implicit conversion, guys. This is called as implicit conversion. Class 1, just a minute. P1 is equals to, say, class 1, P2 is equals to class 1 of C. This is called explicit conversion. This is called as explicit conversion. Guys, did you understand? First, I'm telling you what is implicit conversion, what is explicit conversion. So you directly assign I, implicitly converted. But here you're not directly assigning, you're telling convert C into class 1. You're telling convert C into class 1. This is called explicit conversion. Okay? You can write another way also, guys. Class 1 P3 is equals to C as class 1. C as class 1. This is also explicit conversion only. This is also explicit. See, right now, all the three will work here. All the three options are okay. All the three options are okay. No error anywhere. All the three options are working. Did you understand me? C means conversion. C is your instance here. Why C means conversion? C is your instance. C is your instance. You're converting C into, C is instance of which class, guys? C is instance of which class? Class 2. You're converting into class 1. You're converting into class 1. You're converting to class 1. You can convert it directly. This is called implicit conversion. Okay? And you can convert like this also. Convert C into class 1. This is, you learned this in C language, not typecasting. Array, this is typecasting, yaar. You learnt in C language. I did not tell you anything new. And when I explained about the operators, I said you about the as operator. Using as operator, you can do a type conversion. Array operators, when I explained about operator, is operator, as operator, on that day I said you. Are you people clear? Everything we learned. That's all. Okay, now? Now coming back. What I am trying to tell you is, guys, look this. Class 1P is equals to new class 1. What did you do? Created parent class instance. Okay, now. Parent class instance, tell that. Okay. Now, class 2C is equals to P. Implicit conversion, explicit conversion. Implicit. Okay. Class 2C is equals to class 2 of P. Implicit or explicit? Explicit. Both are invalid, guys. Both are invalid. You cannot do. What cannot do? You cannot initialize a child by using parent instance. Did you catch my point? We cannot initialize a child by using parent instance. Child cannot be initialized by parent instance. And one more thing, if I try to do this, I will get a compile time error. If I try to do this, I'll get a runtime error. I'll show you practically. Watch. Guys, observe. Class 1 P is equals to new class 1. Class 2 C, class 2 C1 is equals to P. Class 2 C is equals to P. Okay, error C. Cannot convert class 1 to class 2. Cannot convert class 1 to class 2. An explicit conversion exit, or you missing a cast. See the error message, guys. The error messages, if you understand the error messages, half of the subject will be, you will understand. What is it telling you? I cannot implicitly do this conversion. Check if there is any explicit conversion. See the question mark. The question mark is telling you implicit conversion is possible. Check if at all you have an explicit conversion option. Guys, understood? Implicit conversion is not possible. Check if at all you have explicit conversion. I don't know. You check. Okay. So this is a compile time error. If you try to run, you will get a compile time error. But guys, listen. I'll go for an explicit conversion now. I want to convert into what? Class 2. I want to convert this into class 2. So I'm using a typecasting, explicit conversion. Now also get error. Runtime error will come. Now see guys, this is a runtime error. See, program execution is going on and I got an error. This is called runtime error. Are you guys clear? You can read this again.